How's it going, New World? Sethphir here, and today I wanted to have a conversation about best in slot in-game gear, specifically watermarks versus crafted gear. So, if you guys have been paying a bit of attention, in the past we've speculated that a lot of the best in slot items are coming from crafted gear, which is going to be this. Things like orichalcum, musket, or axe, or hammer, whatever that may be, right? Someone's crafting this item and they're rolling that 595 to 600 dice with perfect trophies, and they're eventually hitting the 600 mark and getting a 600 gear score level weapon. However, that weapon is going to have random stats. As you can see here, it rolled with con and intelligence on a musket, which is not ideal. It did get some decent things like crit chance and, empowered, but then you have this weird accuracy thing, and this may not be what you want, right? End of the day, so you can control one of these variables with crafted gear, and that's going to be done through the charms. You can basically add these little things in that will guarantee a specific bonus of a attribute or guarantee a certain perk on the item. So usually people roll like crit chance, right? Because that seems to be very important right now, and they try to roll an item like that. They want to roll a high gear score item. And this is an interesting thing because right now in dungeons, I am finding gear that is quite high. I just did a garden run and I picked up several items like this 587 spear, and these are all getting close to the crafted items that are on the auction house. Very close, actually. As you can see, it rolled crit chance. It even rolled a spear skill on the actual spear, which is very strong as well. And some of the items, like this hammer right here that comes from Lazarus Instrumentality, have preset values on them that are guaranteed. So this hammer comes with vicious and keen all the time. It also comes with pure strength and a socket. And I believe if this hammer hits up to 600 gear score, or later on when your watermark increases, it will basically convert itself to legendary and gain a bonus perk that is already predetermined. And I think for this one, it's the 15% damage bonus when you critically hit. So if that is your ideal stat line, then it makes a lot more sense to grind watermark in dungeons and in the open world, specifically before you go into the dungeons, to kind of aim towards these free auto-generated perfect stat weapons. Another great example would be this earring right here. So this one comes with 20 strength and a socket. The socket is already an onyx, so it's a tier 5 gem in it, and it has refreshing toast and regenerating, which is, in my opinion, the best perks that you can get on an earring. Earrings do not come with critical hit. They come with different, more defensive stats. So being able to regenerate your health and getting your potions back 25% faster makes this particular earring best in slot for strength users, since it's going to come with strength attribute. This will also be able to be converted up to legendary, just like the hammer before, gaining an additional stat, and that stat can also be something that you want. I believe the last one you're after would be like stamina regen or something like that, because it will give you a nice offensive and defensive utility boost, and it saves you a lot of time instead of rolling like crafted items with relatively nothing on them, right? Like, we could take a look here. We can look at earrings in the auction house and then sort from all settlements. And we can take a look and see that some people are crafting earrings. This one has regenerating on it, but it rolled with the stat of +5 minimum armor crafted quality, which is decent. Like, you do want that, but it's not a very good combat earring, right? This one generates you more threat and has a little bit of health regen, but as you can see, the variance is so high that your odds of hitting this, what was the number we calculated before? Something like 1 in 30,000, 36,000 or something, of getting perfect, your dream perfect stats and 600 gear score. it's going to be very hard to obtain, and it may be much more likely for you to enter a dungeon and get a guaranteed upgrade from the dungeon, a guaranteed boss drop perhaps, that gives you the weapon that you want. And right now, the choke point for that would be the fragments or the keys, the arena keys to enter these dungeons. However, in November, the developers stated that they will be releasing a patch that adjusts the quantity of the items needed to create these tuning orbs. It's going to reduce that cost, so you're going to be able to get into there for a cheaper amount of material. So start stockpiling and holding off for that. This is going to be something that you're going to be able to do consistently in the future. So you're going to be able to run these dungeon runs a lot more than we previously thought. With that developer post saying that in November, sometime in November, we're going to lower the cost on that. So that's going to change the way that you get your best in slot gear. So right now, everyone thinks that it's crafted gear. And so they're spending tons of materials like Asmodium, these 24-hour cooldowns, Phoenix Weave, all to try to craft some piece, right? That they're going to roll and hope that they get the best stats on. But it may or may not end up in their favor, and they might be able to sell some of these things right now because it's high gear score, but when everybody hits the dungeons and you're getting 591 consistent pieces, and once you get all 591, you're going to break the barrier, the 591 barrier that's kind of in place, like this soft cap, so to say, and the dungeon will have to forcibly give you an upgrade, and that's when it's going to have to give you something above 591. And the moment that it has to do that, that's when you can start aiming towards these 600 gear score versions of this hammer called Fury, which you'll be able to have a chance to get something that's already rolled with the best stats in the game slapped on it, and you don't have to pay a dime for it. All you have to do is simply farm a little bit of portals. And right now, the amount of fragments required to get in is very high, but it will be lowered. So this may be the best way to get your best in slot gear coming in the future very soon. So I just wanted to make a quick announcement based around that, because I see a lot of people selling these items for like 20, 30K, crazy numbers, and, you know, trying to craft all this gear. And while these people are getting ahead for now, the best thing you can do in the game, in my opinion, is to increase your watermark. And once you're getting consistent 591 armor pieces and 591 weapons, that is the perfect time for you to hit the dungeons hard. So let's go ahead and talk about how you're going to do that. And that's going to be through what people kind of know as like chess runs here within the game. So people will start and they'll do Mirror Guard, because the level of the enemies will increase the chances for you to get high drops. So if you're killing monsters in like a 64, 65 area, even 66, you're going to see consistently high gear score increases, as well as the elite chests, which will give you gear score increases coming from the high level zones. So the best zones is going to be Scorch Mines, because in this area there's a lot of 64, 65 elites in the deep part of the mines. The next area is going to be Mirror Guard. All this place is flooded with 64, 65 elites, even some 66, tons of bosses, and high-level monsters and high-level chests here. Another decent area, actually, is going to be Malevolence, as there are quite a few high-level mobs in the top part of Malevolence. You will see high-level 65-plus Dryad creatures, or Dryad Angry Earth, whatever they're called. And then in Reekwater, you will see several high enemies in the Eternal Pools. This is a very high-level zone, and with high-level chests, and also in the Siren Strand, which is the forecastle drift leading up to the Spire of Melopomene. Oh man, that's a butcher. I'm sorry for that one. The place where the Siren Queen is, right? And so these are going to be your ideal zones. The last spot would be this Eternal Imperial Palace, because over here in the North Shrine Palace, and specifically on the top, the highest level, there are level 65 monsters in Eden's Scale, or in Eden's Grove, which will give you a lot of good drops. So this would be another alternative source to get high level elite chests, as well as high level monster kills like 65 plus. So that's what you're after, right? That at the end of the day, those are the things that you are aiming for, and you need to be able to sort of farm these items so that you can creep that gear score up so that you can eventually hit all 591s, and then you will be able to see big returns from the dungeons. So the biggest choke point for everyone is going to be earrings, rings, and amulets, because it's going to take quite a while for you to farm this up. The game will naturally catch you up in dungeons because it's going to need to give you an upgrade, and if everything else you have is 591, it's probably going to choose jewelry, and then it's going to start upgrading you from there. So if you're finding 510, 515, 505, 520 jewelry, it means you need to get your jewelry watermark up, and the best way to do that is expeditions, but also high-level named monsters, like this area right here, the congregation. There's a bear, level 62 here, called Mirepaw, and he will drop you earrings that will increase your watermark. There are several other named monsters that have jewelry pieces as their upgrades. You can kind of search on like New World Database or some other equivalent website that would allow you to see where these monster drops are coming from, and you would be able to farm jewelry pieces. I think another one is Baines, who's at the top of Malevolence Bridge here. He's like in this area. He's a giant monster, like level 62 or 63 elite, something like that, but he drops jewelry as well, so you can increase your jewelry watermark from these sources also. So hopefully that will help everyone identify where a lot of these best in slot items are coming from. And if you found this content helpful, make sure to subscribe, like, and hit the bell. And we also have a join button down below. If you're interested in becoming a member, you will get special perks, benefit, badges, emojis, and all kinds of cool stuff. And we have a Discord if you want to hang out with me, ask me questions, and just talk about the meta in general and where the game is headed to. So these are going to be some great things that you can do right now amidst the chaos and start making progress on your watermarks. Thanks for your time and watching the video, and we will catch you in the next one.